Hello, everybody. This is Pastor Willie, and this is the encouraging word for today. To say that we live in turbulent times is an understatement. We are living in troubled times, dangerous times, and in my opinion, probably the most distressful days since World War II. There are times it seems we are just a step away from World War III. Populations are shifting. There are wars in different places in the world. Countries, particularly in Africa and Latin America, seem to be disintegrating the fabric of society. There's morality change that's rapid, that's never been seen before. Even 20 years ago, people in positions of trust falling, families disintegrating, politics ugly, leaders unable to lead, nobody stepping up. It is turbulent times with a capital T. The economy on a roller coaster ride. Who knows what could happen at any minute? And myself, I'm always just waiting. What is the next unexpected thing that's going to happen? And I know something is going to happen. We're living in that time of turbulence, like when an airplane suddenly starts going through turbulence. We're in that type of a time. And so in turbulence, where do we find a foundation that we can stand on when things could be lost in a moment? A year from now, things could be totally different than they are right now, and in a bad way. How do we stand firm? I believe that Paul, the Apostle Paul, is our example. His world, his personal world, was turned upside down. Once he started to follow Jesus, everything came against him. We somehow have the idea, if I follow Jesus, everything will be smooth. Everyone will love me. He had the opposite experience. He was attacked, shipwrecked, beaten. Now he's in jail, awaiting to be executed. And yet, through it all, he remains stable. Doesn't break down, stays focused. Day by day, he is a picture of stability. I see that and I say, I need that stability in my life. I'm not going through half of what he goes through, but I need that type of stability. Where did he find a foundation that gave him that stability? I can't control things, but I need stability within the changing environment around me, in the midst of trouble, in the midst of turbulence, in the midst of changes. And I believe we can learn from what Paul says. And in 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11 through 13, he says something that gives us the key to finding that stability, to finding that firm place to stand. So listen with me at 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11 through 13. He says this: "Here is a trustworthy saying. If we died with him, we'll also live with him. If we endure, we will reign with him. If we disown him, he will disown us. If we are faithless, he remains faithful, for he cannot disown himself." Now, the first part is pretty straightforward. We understand it. If we die with him, we will live with him. If we die in Christ, we will be alive with Christ. We'll be resurrected. We understand that. And that's part of the foundation, but that's not the foundation. If we endure, we will reign with him. So we have that idea of persevering. Yes, and that's part of stability, to endure. Then he says, if we disown him, he will disown us. And that makes perfect sense. If I deny Christ, he will deny me. And then he says, if we are faithless, now I would expect him to say, if we are faithless, God will not be faithful to us. That would make sense based on what the other sayings said. It's a this for that. If we're faithless, he will not be faithful to us. But it doesn't say that, and this is the secret. If we are faithless, he remains faithful, for he cannot disown himself. God is faithful. That's his character. So even if I am unfaithful to God, even if my faith gets weak, even if I lose my faith in a situation, not deny him, but lose my faith in a situation, God remains faithful to me, no matter what. No matter what I do, no matter what circumstances I am in, God remains faithful, because that's his character, and he cannot deny his character. He can't be different than his character. It's not like shifting shadows or sand that is sinking. He's rock solid, always faithful. He remains faithful. Through all the changes of life, God remains faithful. Through the turbulent times, God will remain faithful. He alone is steady. He remains faithful. He will be faithful in every storm you face or I face. He will be faithful in every trouble you face or I face. He will be faithful in things known and unknown. We can trust in his faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness, O God. Your faithfulness, God, is unknowing. It's not like my faithfulness. Even if my faithfulness fails and I'm unfaithful, he will remain faithful to me. That, my friends, is a rock that you and I can stand on. It's the only firm place to stand. So no matter what happens, no matter what you and I will be seeing this next year, know this: God will remain faithful, and he will never be anything but faithful. And we can place our trust on God's faithfulness. God bless you, and I'll see you tomorrow.